Wood paneling is usually reserved for people who have about 2 more teeth than a chicken.
Gentlemen, welcome back to Southpaw. This is the episode 5 that you've all been waiting for so impatiently. I'm Chris Vitale. I'm joined again by the full house here. We got Rocco Constantino right here. We've got Bill Pulsifer next to Rocco. Down below my little section of internet screen here, we got Wayne Franklin. There it is. Glendon Rush next to Wayne. And last but of course not least, Will Oman. With an actual room behind him this time.
Yeah, I thought I'd break it up. I mean, we've been in that like wooden spa sauna thing for a bit.
Yeah, so
But paneling.
Well, you know, who doesn't like wood paneling? Apparently, plenty of people.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's 1983 and you own a van that says free candy. Why not?
Exactly. Jesus. All right, so the Southpaw Playoff Spectacular is here right now. We have the Braves playing the Phillies as we record this. I know you guys had some thoughts on what you saw already in the first inning there from Ozuna in particular. Will, what are you seeing, and where do you see this series going? Objectively, considering you never played for the Phillies.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna personally root for the Braves. It's a terrible approach by Ozuna, taking a fastball at the top part of the zone as a power hitter with 2 strikes and men on. However, I will say that the Phillies are kind of jerks, and they're going to play dirtbag baseball and have a chance.
Yep.
Right on. Glendon, what are you thinking about this series? What are you seeing? What did you think of Harper the other night trying to make something happen and win that game, getting doubled off?
I didn't find that to be I know a lot of people thought it was bad base running, but look, he's trying to tie the game. You know, he probably rounded it a couple steps further than he should have. But other than that, I mean, he was being aggressive, trying to tie the game. Tough ball to read. Great play by Harris. So, yeah. I didn't have a problem with it. That's the kind of baseball he plays. Guy plays hard every single game. I love watching him.
Sorry to be the LeBron unit, but legitimately, do you think I'm all for aggressiveness on the bases, but should he have had 1 foot on the bag? I mean, that's like the furthest for me.
Yeah, I think in a perfect world, he almost straddled the bag, but he was flying, man. He was scoring.
See, they were playing with house money a little bit too, already having a win in the bag there in Atlanta, and figured they're going home. Okay. Maybe he was just saying, "I'm going for it," and see what happens.
Go for the win on the road, right?
I will say this: the best thing that came out of it was how the Phillies manager kind of handled it. And he said, "Normally, how you'd play it is this," and he didn't bomb Harper. He didn't throw him under the bus. And he just said, normally you play it like this, but, you know, it just happens. I mean, that in the evolution of the game, I think is the best thing that's happened, is more managers are taking that personal approach to players. Instead of throwing them under the bus, they're saying, yeah, but. And that was, honestly, I thought it was the best part.
Yeah, I mean, if he scores on that play, he's obviously the hero. You know, I mean, it's and it's, you know, and that's just his brand of baseball. He's aggressive, like you said. I think, you know, there was a point where just about where he reached second base, he looked back he looked at Harris in the outfield, and he was like, oh shit, he might catch this. He crosses, you know, he goes past second, and then he slipped, and I think that's what killed him too, because he slipped trying to get back to second so he can get back to first, and that ate up some time, and you know, shit happens. Like, yeah. Oh, look at that. There you go.
Back-to-back hits.
Wouldn't it have been great, though, if he would have Ruben Rivera and just ran right
across? I was just going to say, run right across the end.
Mixing an A-Rod, slap the ball out of his hand.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I was thinking.
Well, Bill, what do you think about that as well? I mean, just the aggressiveness.
I think that's.
I mean, do you think that's going to come back and bite him in the ass?
I think what I said earlier, maybe he felt playing with house money with the win there. Obviously, you want to win every game you possibly can, but after what you saw in that first series in Philadelphia with the way that crowd is, they're obviously going to have that home field advantage, I would think. And just the way that team plays, they're like we were talking through our text thread the other day. They're just a bunch of dirt dogs and hard-nosed ball players, and nobody plays harder than Harper.
Sure.
He's come a long way from the eye black all over the face, and when he was kind of the young face of baseball, I think that he's more of a hard-nosed, serious baseball player, and he was just going for it. And you can't begrudge him. Obviously, like his manager said, maybe you have 1 foot on the bag there that way, but I think he was thinking score all the way and just take a roll of the dice.
Wayne, how about you? Just what your thought on that real quick?
There's so many variables to that. What happened? I mean, did he make a blunder? I don't know, but I don't think he did. I think, with Atlanta stealing all that momentum at home,
right,
he was trying to create to get some back. Yeah, I'm convinced that that's what he was trying to do. He was like, it's all or nothing right here. I'm gonna get there and tie this game and try and get the momentum back. That's what I thought about.
I like that. I like that thought process.
I do too. It's a shame to waste Wheeler's outing too, the way he was going, man. It's a shame.
Oh my gosh, was that fun?
Looked great.
That was fun to watch, man.
Yeah, it was very fun to watch.
So, I mean, Rocco, I'll ask you the same thing, and I'm going to end it with this. I mean, and actually, I'm not going to end it, but because I want to ask all you guys this. But I made a bet, like Bill was saying, when Harper came up and he was just all, eye black everywhere and kind of, the clown question bro time and all that kind of stuff. I made a bet with a buddy of mine down in St. Augustine. I think Glendon knows him, but I think it was like, we just bet $100 that I said, he's not going to make the Hall of Fame. He's going to flame out. Harper's not going to, he's all hype. Well, I personally think I'm going to lose that bet. Rocco, how do you feel about that play? And is Harper kind of almost a surefire Hall of Famer at this point?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think he absolutely is a surefire Hall of Famer at this point. All that stuff, he's matured. With the game, we've seen him. We've been seeing and hearing about him since he was in high school. He's kind of now turned into that throwback player. Oh, it's great. And I think I agree completely with what Paul said. And I think Wayne had the same perspective as a coach too. With the Phillies being up 1-0, that's your chance to you play with house money and take a shot there. You already got, going into Atlanta, your Phillies. I mean, I know their mentality is dirt dogs and win every game and this and that, but coming out of Atlanta with a 1-1 split sets them up pretty good. If they win it 2-0 on a dramatic play like that with, Harris crashing into the wall, ball falls out, Harper scores the other way, that's a big thing there too. So I could understand it. It's a great baseball play. Sometimes you take a chance and the thing can go either way.
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree.
And if the Phillies win tonight, I think they'll win the whole thing because they'll get Wheeler at the worst in Game 5, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the day off situation is for the rest of this series, but
seems like play a game and take a day off.
Yeah.
I guess they're trying to do the American and National League thing one day each.
Yeah. Well, that's,
Can I drop in?
By all means.
Okay. So spring training, my last spring training was with the Nationals in 2013. So beginning of Bryce Harper's career. And end of the day, he and a couple other guys are still kind of lingering around the clubhouse. And I just see him and have a chance. And I'm like, hey, I got a question for you. You do a little thing, in your lower half. I watch left-handed hitters. That's my thing. You do a little thing with your heel. I'm wondering where it comes from. And he goes, the bed. I said, excuse me?
I love it.
And just without flinching, he just goes, the bed. I go, okay.
Wow.
Further. And he goes, yeah, I watched a video on Babe Ruth. I'm like, you went to the library and looked up microfiche? Just straight faced. I mean, it was planned. It was planned the whole way. The dude's been a dude since he was 16.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like unrelenting. He has, regardless of if you like it, if you love it, if you hate it, the dude's been a dude.
Poster child for fit, man. He
Yeah.
is.
Oh
he
yeah,
is that guy.
absolutely. And couldn't fit better for that city.
Yeah, he's perfect.
Oh,
for
he's
them.
perfect.
Exactly
Absolutely. I mean, as a
Well,
Yankee fan, it kills me, but you know that he actually he wanted to be a Yankee. I mean, he wanted to play. He would have played first base. And the genius is in charge, Wayne, as you know. So we have 6 outfielders, including Clint Frazier and guys of that nature. So they said no to Bryce Harper because playing first
Okay,
base wasn't feasible.
Who would you take now at first base? Who would you take? Rizzo?
Freddie-
or
Freddie
Harper?
Freeman.
And, that's not even a question. I like Rizzo. I have no problem with Rizzo, but I mean, I'd have to go Harper every day. There.
Yeah. He's the kind of athlete that could make himself into a Gold Glove first baseman.
With that
I
short
thought he played
porch,
well
he's
from
a
the
Yankee.
games I've
He was a Yankee fan. Yeah, he emulated the Babe for the love of God. But Bill, I'm sorry, you were saying something before I cut you off.
No, 2 things. One was he definitely has grown on me. I was not a huge Harper fan or guy early on, just out of just the perception, to be honest with you, not knowing the guy at all. But definitely won me over just with the way that he plays the game, and
Absolutely.
like Rocco had said, becoming the like kind of the hard nosed ball player that he is. So a lot of respect for that.
I have a real quick Harper story from he used to he's a Vegas kid, and he used to come down and hit at this indoor facility in Pasadena all the time in California when I was in Southern Cal. And the year before I went, I was coming off missing a year with my blood clot, and I was going to throw a bullpen there, and the agency that worked out of there said, "Hey, we got a kid to catch your bullpen," and it happened to be him. Mm-hmm. And at the time, he was an 8th grader, 2B freshman in high school when he was a catcher. And if you think about that, because we've all been around youth baseball, I mean, you think of what 8th graders and freshmen look like, the majority of them. And he sat back there and caught my whole pen like it was no problem. Just, not that I'm a difficult guy to catch, but still it was impressive. But to see him at that young age and then watch him hit in the cage, and they were basically saying in 4 years, he's going to be the best player in the country.
They weren't lying.
Yeah, it only took 3 because he only went to 2 years of high school and 1 year of college. But pretty cool story.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about that series between the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. I don't know. I'm not as surprised as everybody else seems to be that the Diamondbacks are giving them a hell of a time. Are you really?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Wayne. What's so surprising? I just think
I didn't think they'd go to LA and win 2 games. I wouldn't give them a chance to win 2 games in LA.
Well, I mean, I just see. My thing is just with the Dodgers. It's just their starting pitching is decimated. I mean, I don't know. It does not. I mean, Will, you're an Arizona resident, and a friend of the family there with the Diamondbacks. Does this surprise the hell out of you too?
Yeah, I thought they were in a fight for third
the
whole way in the NL West, and they had good luck based on run differential. Padres had horrible luck based on that. But I mean, when you take the playoffs and you compress it, and you look at who's hot, who's not, and the fact that the Dodgers have lost 80% of their intended starting rotation.
Yeah.
And then, the Diamondbacks win 1. That's awesome for them. If they walk out of there 1-1,
absolutely,
that's a huge accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
But being up 2-0 is ridiculous.
Not with the Dodgers offense. I mean, they got
stifled. And I think what they're doing, the Diamondbacks, is going to be a blueprint. But at the same time, I mean, it's always the blueprint. Get guys, make great trades. Take and develop your farm system, all that stuff. But yeah, it is still from the outside shocking.
Yeah, I really like Walker. Walker is a stud. I think that dude is going to be good for a while. He hits the ball.
Everybody's going to now draft 5'10" left-handed hitting outfielders.
I love it.
Yeah.
Personally, I love it. I mean, just yeah. It's so
I mean,
it wasn't the
they've
size.
got
It wasn't the size that kept me out. It was just the fact that I sucked. But I like to see the smaller guys, get in there for sure.
Scored
Carroll's
one
a beast, but
instead of far hit.
one ball game, by the way. Just throwing that
I
in
was
there.
I was at a buddy's house
Giannis.
the other night watching the Diamondbacks game, and my buddy started saying "deplane" when he went deep. I thought that wasn't nice.
That is
it's
funny as hell, man.
I think it's actually kind of funny.
I never even thought of that.
Yeah, I mean, Carroll looks like if I kept myself in shape, that he's like my size. It's great to see. But it is, I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on this series? I mean, do the Dodgers? Could they come back? Do they make a series out of it? Rocco, what are you thinking there?
I don't know. To me, the Dodgers
I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
I
hate to call them dead in the water, but I mean, losing like that at home, the Diamondbacks just have much more life, I think. It's up to Lance Lynn tonight. The guy, I want to see Kershaw get one more chance, though, so I'm rooting for. I do hope the Dodgers win something here, and Kershaw, I think he's scheduled for Game 4. If that happens, so I'm looking for that. I hope they can win tonight. Yeah, Kershaw versus Kelly, Game 4. So that's what I'm hoping for. I don't know though, man. I had more faith in the Phillies Braves series. Becoming something that we'd watch, and Diamondbacks kind of rolling over here.
Yeah, I mean, Lance Lynn's starting tonight. I mean, I think he leads the majors in home runs allowed this year. It's something like 44 or 45, something.
Oh my God, for real?
I believe it's like the most home runs ever allowed by a starting pitcher,
That's
at least in the National League. Yeah, and so I mean that could bite him in the ass for sure. But I don't know. I think it was Will that said that they lost 80%, the Dodgers, of their starting rotation, and it's really everybody but Kershaw. And the fact that these guys are just getting tagged early and chased early, you're seeing.
But that's by design. You
just jumping on them early. Yeah.
You always want your starter to only face the lineup 2 times.
So why not just get it all out of the way in the first inning? Is what you're saying.
100%. Everybody's a reliever.
I could dig it. I could dig that.
Did you guys? How about the stat last night that popped up? Was that on the? Maybe it was on the game. Right.
Which one was that?
Was it like 28-9? Since 2002, if the starting pitcher in the playoffs goes 6 innings or more, their team's 28-9. I think that formula wins. I think.
Imagine that. That's very forward thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one was it was 29-8, and the other record was 24-5. Is that right?
Oh yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, I'm dyslexic, so it's pretty right around there.
Yeah, that was a good post. Who posted that?
I believe that was Glendon. Yeah, I remember
good
that.
That was a great stat.
Yeah,
I can't believe that. I can't believe they had to show that during the game.
Yeah, right. That's contrary to what everyone's talking about now.
Middle finger from all of us old school guys.
You know what was I had a conversation with my longtime buddy and backstop Chris Iannetta, and he brought up a very good point about the the kind of shortened starters throughout the regular season and everything. He's like, it works great over the 162, but when you get into playoffs and there's 1s and 2s, it's a whole different ball game. And that was kind of the best. It was a good summation of it. You put these guys in these playoff series where you're facing the Nolas and Kershaw when he's on, all these good pitchers, and it's a different. You can't go out there and have your starter go 2 1/3 against guys like that, or you're in trouble.
Yeah, and they want strikeouts all the time. It's like, how about efficiency? How about efficiency one time?
Yeah.
The next and only series still going on is Astros Twins. Yordan Alvarez just was hitting balls to the moon last night. I don't know if he's. Well, that's another thing. Why? Okay, how about that? Why the hell are they pitching to Yordan Alvarez, and what do they expect the result to be? Wayne, go ahead.
He is Big Poppy right now, man. Like, he is the new Big Poppy.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
I mean, he's absolutely that guy. I think it's obvious. I just don't get why they pitched to the dude.
He's a big time player. He's like Wayne
Yes, he
saying,
is.
Poppy was ready come playoff time, and a lot
That's
of big
right.
home runs, a lot of big hits. He stepped right into that role for sure.
Jordan-
Astros are tough this time of year. They've proven over the last 5-6 years now that they're going to be ready to play this time of year. So
Jordan's like
they're
the
going to be
quiet
tough to beat.
assassin, isn't he? He's like the quiet
What's up?
assassin. Jordan.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
You're right.
He doesn't seem not too much flash behind that guy. He just gets it done.
Love
I
it.
mean, that's
He's a,
what-
He
he's
what
really
is-
a
does get it
Caballo.
done, man. He's the man.
I mean, I think he had 2 shots, both over 440, perhaps last night. I mean, those are friggin' moon shots. And I believe one came off a sweeper, but we won't go anywhere near that.
Yeah,
Swiffer
Sonny
soup-
Gray gave up
Swiffer
2 or
sweeper.
3 last night off of that pitch.
What's up?
How many did Sonny Gray give up off of that pitch last night? He gave up 2 or 3 home runs on that pitch alone, and he's like giving up none hardly on that pitch.
Yeah.
We call
I
it
think it's
that
always
pitch. We won't
dangerous
even
when you're
say
trying
the
to-
name.
That pitch. I know.
When you're trying to sweep that ball in there, I think you're always asking to hang one out over the middle of the plate. You know, especially this time of year now too. My arm might be a little bit more tired. A little worn down. Maybe that sweeper isn't sweeping so much. And now it's like we all know about the old cement mixer, which is usually just getting another ball from the umpire when you throw one of those, because that one a fan's got that one. Hopefully nobody got hurt and then no seats got broken or anything when the ball landed.
Is it me, or is it that Sonny Gray does not like the big stage? I don't want to say that, but it seems like that.
Yeah, I know he didn't like pitching in New York, but
I don't know.
neither did it. Neither did Ed Whitson. So who the hell knows? Talking about the pitching, who was it? Christian Javier that pitched for Houston last night, right? He looked great.
He's
He looked great. So Houston. It's the road to the world. To the championship is going to go through Houston again. It has to. Look at that behind Will. But do you think Houston closes it off and then we get the battle of Texas? Will is doing the prices right. Hand gestures here.
I'll jump in. I think yes. I think Houston is going to close it out, and I think that is going to be one heck of a series if it's Houston and Texas.
Great
Yeah,
match. Great match. Head to head right there, man.
That's going to be fun. Two old school, long time Hall of Fame managers with some veteran lineups. That's going to be a fun one to watch if that ends up being the ALCS.
I agree. I
Are
mean,
we surprised those old school guys? No, we're not surprised about that.
Not at all.
We're not surprised at all about that.
Not at all.
Yeah. What happened to Baltimore, man? I mean, I kind of thought they were going to put up a little more of a fight than they did. They had a great season. You can't take anything away from them, et cetera, et cetera. But, I mean, is Texas that much of a force to be reckoned with, or did Baltimore really just kind of fall flat, lay an egg? Did that layoff hurt them? What do you guys think? I'll start, Bill.
Okay. I think, and we had mentioned this in the thread, the seeding and the days off for the division winners.
Yeah.
I think that with a young ball club like the Orioles have, maybe that anxiety, the anticipation of waiting those few days might have been a little bit too much. Instead of being out there right away and playing and getting that first little taste of playoff baseball. Obviously, Baseball City hasn't been around for a long time. I think maybe that affected them a little bit. We've seen it in the other series too, but I think with a young ball club like that hasn't been there before, I think they want to get out there as soon as they possibly can and dig your spikes in and throw the ball around, maybe take one under the chin, maybe do a little something to get out there and play the game. So I think that might have affected them a little bit, and they ran into a Texas team that is just hitting in all cylinders at the right time right now.
Will, how about you?
I think they got punched in the mouth and didn't know how to recover.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Good call.
Yeah. Glendon?
The one thing that always scares me in the playoffs is young starting pitching that hasn't been there. They as good as their guys are, they don't have a ton of experience, and I think it showed.
Oh my God!
Oh,
You see that too?
Oh, was that? Oh,
I was getting ready to put up
my
a sign. That's an absolute bomb.
Who was it?
Bryce Harper with the 3-run bomb. Wow.
And there you go.
I mean,
He's been pitched tough, man. Harper's been pitched tough so far.
Yeah.
I've been watching all the Phillies games. Those lefties have been getting that
A
ball
lot of
down and away
lefties.
from him with 2 strikes consistently. He's been pitched tough, so good to see him break out a little bit.
He smoked that one too. Good Lord. Sorry, Will, what were you saying about Philly?
Well, I'm saying they're dirtbags. they just grind, and good God, yeah, it was great. It was Raul Ibanez, tremendous human being, and this backs up the resume. I threw a fastball middle at probably 86. I was channeling my inner Glendon. It was great, and
Wow. Bus driver.
I was towards the end, and I threw a pitch, and he hit it. And off the bat, I was like, "Dang it, that's a double off the wall." I was like, "Oh, no good." And he bolts out of the box. He sprints like he's fighting for second, and then I turn around, and I'm like, "Oh no!" And I see the angle, and it goes into the visiting bullpen.
Angle.
I'm like, "Oh God!" And like he didn't break his sprint until he was almost at second. I was like, "Well, thank you. Appreciate you not showing me up because you could have watched that for days." And the next day they had a chalk line out for me, and utility markers in the bullpen just showing me where it hit. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. I'm not good at baseball.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, Will, when I said chairs broken, that was kind of what I felt when Andres Galarraga hit a ball that probably didn't go more than about 10 feet off the ground at Shea Stadium and hit the bleachers out in left center field. And I saw him on the way out to the players' parking lot. On the way out, he was going to the bus, and I told him, I was like, "Man, I'm sure happy that nobody was sitting in that chair, but I'm pretty sure you broke the chair." So when I said broken chairs, that was me actually bagging on myself a little bit too.
Love it.
Let's get some predictions moving forward. Texas Houston, that's what I'm expecting. How about you guys? Rocco, what are you thinking there?
Yeah, I think so. I think this has been the biggest mismatch of the playoffs. The Twins Astros there. So it's Texas Astros, and Braves. I think Braves are going to come back on that. They've been the best team all year in the National League, and Diamondbacks. So those are my predictions on those.
Glendon, how about you?
I'm sticking with the Texas teams in the AL, and I think that the NL is going to end up being the D-backs and the Phillies. And I think we could see a possible rematch of last year.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Will, how about you?
I've got all the way to the end. I've got Phillies Rangers.
Wayne, how about you?
I don't know. Get a little creative here. I'm going to say the Dodgers are going to pull 95 Mariners out of their bag. Win 3 straight. And I think Texas are so streaky. So if they can manage to stay on that win streak, I think that first loss might break their back because they have been like that, especially down the stretch. They were going.
They're listening to Creed, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
I love Bochy, man. I think Bochy's going to get them through it. I think it's going to be Texas and Phillies I got in the World Series.
Bill, how about you? We didn't get you yet.
I've been liking the Phillies. Obviously, things changed a little bit with the way that game panned out the other night. So tonight's game is obviously huge. Today's game going on right now, and we know that they just got a 3-run homer, so that helps. But I like the Phillies. I'm going to say the Diamondbacks stay hot. So let's go Diamondbacks and Phillies in the National League Championship Series. And obviously, we're all kind of in agreement that it looks like it's going to be the Astros and the Rangers. And I'm just going to side with experience with the Rangers maybe being a year away, possibly. So we'll say Astros.
Phillies.
And I like Astros. I like the Phillies, man. I like the way they're playing right now. I like the way the Phillies are playing. I saw something the other day that Minosa. No, what's the
Mendoza?
Yeah. Yes.
I was like,
He actually-
Mini Minosa, are you talking
Mini
about?
The
Minosa.
Mini Minosa line.
Where are you at there?
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, can I get a champagne and orange juice?
He had a season where he hit 213, I think it was, and he had a higher WAR than Schwarber did this year. Schwarber had like a 0.5, actually, it says, with everything that he did this year. I'm not going to say I understand what the hell that means, because I don't know what it means either. If you know what it means, you don't know. If you need to know what it means, you don't know the game. Then I don't know what it is. I have no idea.
I've never seen anybody traded for a replacement.
What about expected?
6-1 now. 6-1 Phils.
Ooh.
All right, we need him to pump the brakes on the runs.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Red carpet usually reserved for after.
Yeah, in particular, I thought the Giants and Mets managerial jobs were interesting ones to think about or talk about when we were, thinking of some topics here for different reasons, I guess. Just wanted to know anybody's thoughts on what direction the teams might head, what candidates you guys might like, stuff like that. Bill, you seem into it. Who do you?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm here on Long Island, so following the Mets and as a former Met player, I like the Craig Counsell. I think that with Stearns coming over here as the whatever they're calling him, his title, president of baseball operations, with the familiarity, that's a hard word to say. I'd like to see Craig Counsell, hard-nosed baseball player, had to do everything he possibly could with his quote-unquote diminutive stature, and had a hell of a career himself, and has proved himself to be a winning manager in a small market. I'd like to see what he could do, in a bigger market with a bigger pocketbook. And my dark horse, though, is the third base coach for the Braves, Ron Washington. He has a tie with the organization. He managed at AAA. He was a quote-unquote bench coach, which means you're the third base coach at AAA, and managed in A-ball. I played for Ron. I think he's a tremendous baseball person. I think he can still relate to the younger player. And I think that he should get another shot. He was, a couple outs away from winning the World Series. Mm-hmm. I don't think it would happen, but I think it would be something that they'd be silly not to look into, because I think he's a winning manager.
That's a good one. Rocco, what are your thoughts on it? This was your idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Counsell to the Mets is what I'm thinking. I mean, that whole Stearns Counsell thing has been where there's smoke, there's fire for like 2 years now, and it seems to be moving in that direction. I'd be interested to see what the Mets do with that GM spot, if they fill it right away, or what's going on there, if they fill it at all. I mean, Ron Washington would be awesome. He would be great. You're talking about an incredible infield instructor with guys like Mauricio Vientos. Those are young players with, looking to play in the infield. Brett Beatty too. The Acuna kid they got in the trade. These are all young infielders. That would be awesome. I said, not sure how realistic it is, but it'd be great to see.
I agree.
So I'd like to see them get some of the experience. I think they will again. There's a lot of good guys out there for sure.
No Beltran, right, Rocco? No Beltran. You're on that.
I do. No, I not at this point in time. I do like him as a baseball guy and getting his shot somewhere. But with the expectations, the payroll, all that stuff with the Mets, I'd like to see somebody like Buck. I mean, honestly, would be that's what I'd be looking for this time around.
I agree.
Well, Wayne, you're in the Bay Area. I mean, how about the Giants? With the unceremonious heave-ho of our favorite Gabe Kapler, who is going to take – I mean, who do you see that could take that job over?
Somebody that doesn't want to manage.
Man.
Is that how it is there? Wow.
Absolutely. That's
that bad. Wow.
I have to be Giants fans all year, man. I heard it for 6 months. I'm like – it wasn't so bad being a Yankee fan, let me tell you. Man. But I don't know. I don't know if somebody will want that job unless they're going to be allowed to manage.
Is Bob Melvin going to be the Padres manager next year? Because I could see him moving down the.
They said he's coming back.
Moving up.
I think
they said he's coming back. Okay, all right.
Yeah, him and Preller. Yeah.
Okay.
Don Mattingly's still out there.
Ooh.
What about if he went to the Mets?
Wow, wouldn't that be something?
I'd take him. Yeah.
Yeah, I would take him too.
Absolutely.
I would take him too, for sure.
That would just look wrong.
It would look
look
wrong.
Wouldn't look wrong.
It would be
100%
weird,
would
man.
look wrong. Wayne, your head would explode. I think.
That's the wrong shape of
Absolutely
NY.
would explode.
Yeah, I think your
If
head
I
would
saw
explode.
Mattingly in a Mets uniform, dude, I might quit just
That ain't
completely.
right.
Just go
That
cold
ain't
turkey.
right.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's weird enough seeing him in a Toronto uniform. I mean, is the Mets uniform just is complete friggin' bizarro world?
That's blasphemy.
Yeah, it's just
Absolutely.
wrong. Will, what do you think about these two? I mean, obviously, the Mets. These guys brought up all the Council, Beltron, these guys. But what about the Giants? Do you think, like going to what Wayne just said, do you think somebody's going to take that job knowing full well they're just there to kind of go out and do the, fill out the lineup card and bring it to the ump
Here's your script.
and just go take a picture out? Yeah, here's your script and that's it. Do you think that there's any hope there? Or are they going to hire Gabe Kapler Jr.?
I mean, if the court of public opinion softens a little bit, and these guys actually listen, I think the actual best fit. I'm going to flip Bill's script and say the best fit for the Mets is Ron Washington, and the best fit for the Giants is actually Craig Counsell. And
Yeah.
that would
Counsell for the Giants.
provide the cultural necessity that both of those teams actually need. And then you move Buck to the GM, vice president type of stuff. And then now you have with the Mets, you have these two guys that are, baseball royalty together doing stuff and working on things. And you have Craig, who can obviously connect with the younger generation, doing great stuff.
I like it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Someone who would be great for the Giants, but he's done is Tito Francona. I mean, he would be great for a team like the Giants, but that's a clash of styles, I think.
The guy that keeps popping in my head, I'd love to see him get another shot, partially because I love him and he's one of my buddies, is Phil Nevin. I think Phil did a pretty good job with the Angels with the hand he was dealt.
Yeah.
I would highly doubt that he would be a good fit in San Fran, because if they're handing him what to do, it's not going to fly. So,
but Phil's he's not going to take orders.
No, but I'd love to see him get another shot somewhere. I think he's earned it. The Council thing makes sense. The Ron Washington absolutely should get another job as a manager. So we'll see how it all shakes out. I wouldn't be necessarily too surprised if Council stays in Milwaukee.
Wow.
Because he's created a home there, his family's there, his kids are there. I know they've talked about that, but who knows? I couldn't predict it, but it'll be fun to see how it all shakes out this offseason.
For sure. Okay, real quick, just a name to throw out there that nobody mentioned, and I don't know if he's done or not, but does Joe Madden ever try and get back into a managerial role? Does San Francisco kind of fit his weird, tripped out outlook too? I mean,
I think he's good just being where he is.
You think?
Yeah.
He left on his terms.
Yeah, that's true.
He might get that itch again, though. It's hard to get baseball out of you, man. That's for sure. It's
Hey, did
I don't know. I've never been a huge Madden guy. I think he was a little, and I'm eccentric. He's a little eccentric. That's for sure.
I agree.
He's out there. He's definitely out there.
Bill. I'm with Bill. Yeah, not my style.
Yeah.
Honestly, playing for Dusty, you want to talk about eccentric. I had a dream last night, and that's why this guy's hitting second. He's got holy water, and he's a weird dude. I love him, and I'd run through a brick wall for him. I mean, but one of the guys that I always looked around like, it was inappropriate how many Hall of Fame managers I played for, with Dusty and Joe Torre and Bobby Cox. I always wanted to play for Joe Madden just to see what the mechanics were like.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, let's see what this guy pulls out of his hat. At the same time, I think he's content with who he is, and therefore is not even going to dip a toe back into the water. Like you said, Bill, I mean, baseball brings you back. It's like that 1-3 iron you hit, and you're like, oh, I grooved it. And you keep trying to remake that shot. Yeah, he's not that guy.
He's driving his motorhome around, probably enjoying that.
Well, is Deli going to be back in Minnesota next year? He could be a guy for San Francisco too.
I wouldn't see why they wouldn't keep him.
I think
make
they'd
him
have
into
to.
a winner again.
If his contract's up, he can get paid.
Ooh, good point.
We were kind of joking around a little bit about favorite baseball movies. Everybody's got one. And I'm curious to know what you guys are. Will, you brought up a good point about my particular favorite, which is Major League, saying it's the most accurate, which I actually love it even more because of such a thing. But I want to go around and see what your guys' favorite movies are. I'll go just right next to me. Start with Rocco here.
We're not counting Brewster's Millions as a baseball movie, are we?
That's a baseball movie. That's a baseball movie.
If that's a baseball movie, I'm trying to be a little different than Major League. Brewster's Millions is awesome. So
Hey, if Die Hard's a Christmas movie, then that's a baseball movie.
Exactly.
That's a great point.
You got John Candy as a catcher. You can't go wrong, man.
Right, Train in the outfield. All that
That's
great
fantastic.
stuff. Richard Pryor on the mound.
Probably with the full Jerry curl in that one too. Monty
Right.
Brewster.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Bill, what's yours?
I'm going to go one with what that I think is very real too, and very authentic as to what baseball is, and it's A League of Their Own. To be honest with you, that's my favorite baseball movie. I know it's about females in that, but I think that with the history of the league and what was going on with World War II at the time, and great cast, great story. They made the girls, they were playing baseball, and I thought it was outstanding. One of my favorite quotes about baseball ever is in that movie, and it's when Tom Hanks says it's the hard that makes it great. If it was easy, everybody would do it. So that's right up there. That's my favorite baseball movie of all time.
Good call.
I'll argue with anybody about it. I'm not ashamed.
And any time you can see a baseball signed by Jimmy Dugan that says "Avoid the clap," Jimmy Dugan.
That was great.
Come on, man. That's classic. That's absolutely classic. But Wayne, how about you? Where are you with this one?
Man, I'd tell you, it just depends on mood. I think if I'm in the mood for a comedy, it's definitely Major League. Something a little more dramatic, maybe The Natural or Pride of the Yankees.
I cannot pick one. I love all those Major League Natural. Bull Durham's got to be in there.
Yeah.
I love yeah. There's some.
It's
great
hard
ones.
to pick. Yes.
Will?
I'm a Sandlot guy.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, Brent Rooker be damned. I'm all about the Sandlot. It just, it's kids. Whether they be 35-year-old kids or 8-year-old kids, it's a game, and love the game, and just quotable stuff from Major League. But it just feels good when you watch the Sandlot. He kissed a girl and he kissed her hard. She was a dime. And just all that stuff. It just brings back all the good memories of playing the game.
A little bit before our time, Sandlot, but we all I know we all had wiffle ball going on in our yards, with our buddies and that.
Well, you didn't have to rent a field. You didn't have to rent a field to go play with your boys.
Yep.
I just remembered something. I officially have a connection to Major League now. About 9 or 10 years ago, I coached the son of Mrs. Roger Dorn.
No kidding.
Really?
And she came to some of the games, and I met her. I was like, awesome. There you go. Check that one off. It's met one of the big characters of those great movies.
That would have had to have been an awkward introduction.
That's awesome.
Start these final thoughts. We're going to go a little different rotationally here. Let's start with Will.
Yeah, I'll go Rangers Phillies. That's all I got.
That your final thought is just Rangers Phillies.
Yep.
Okay,
Where I'm at.
that works. Glendon.
I love this time of year. I love the playoffs. I love when football starts and when baseball's in the playoffs. So it's fun. I'm not partial to anybody winning, so I'm just enjoying all of it.
What about Coach Prime?
Coach Premium is trending partially upward after beating Arizona State. We'll see what comes out next week.
All right. Wayne, how about you?
I was saving this. So last time we were on here, Will, you were telling stories about Barry Bonds. And I'd forgotten one when I was playing here in 2004, which was a sick year for Barry Bonds. That was his last MVP year.
Yeah, he was good.
We were playing Marlins. We were at home playing the Marlins. And, all the hitters are in there watching the video before the game starts of that day's pitcher. I won't say the pitcher's name because it's pretty embarrassing. But it was the left-hander with a great changeup on the Marlins. You guys might know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember who it was, but I won't say his name. Anyway, so I'm still sitting up there. And Barry's watching. He's sitting there. I can still remember. He's sitting on the arm of the chair, and he's watching the video. And he just got this turd face look on him, like I don't even want to watch this. And he just finds me and looks straight in my eyes, and he goes, "This guy effing bores me." He goes out there, his first two bats, he hits both in the drink. Both first two bats. He goes, "This guy effing bores me," and goes out there and hits 2 bombs in a row off of him. That's the story.
That's awesome.
True story. It was crazy. That's how good he was.
This bores me.
Yeah, he goes,
Nobody reminds me.
bores me.
I love it. Yeah, Barry was on another planet. Nobody reminded me, by the way, to say anything about Miguel Tejada.
Nothing. I've never seen anything like it.
That's for next time now.
Unbelievable. Oh no, how this usually works is we'll remember something funny.
Yeah.
At the end. So Bill, that's you. Bill, we're up to you. A final thought.
All right, so I'm just going to echo Glendon a little bit too. Favorite time of the year, fall, weather's changing, playoff baseball. Love Halloween. Unfortunately, I'm going to bring it up. I did turn 50 on Monday, so I'm older now. But just enjoying.
Oh, you just turned
on 50
happy birthday,
on
man.
Monday. Thank you. And I'm lucky and blessed to be able to spend some time with you guys on a semi-regular basis now, more regular basis by the phone. But I appreciate it. And everybody watch the playoffs, man. Whether your team's in there or not, this is the best time of the year. It does not matter. Watch the playoffs.
Preach.
Absolutely.
Preach.
Absolutely. Rocco, let's
Man.
get a final thought from you, sir.
My final thought, I was having a conversation with Deb, our editor, and Clint Hurdle on Twitter today about Oreos. So, and it turned to, I had asked Clint Hurdle if he liked his Oreos, does he dunk them or does he put them in a cup? And he responded, he puts a whole bowl of Oreos in there and eats it like cereal. So I put them in a cup and make Oreo soup. Clint Hurdle puts them in a bowl, I guess, and makes Oreo cereal. Anybody else have any kind of Oreos? I'll use my time if anybody has Oreo comments right now.
Oh, I totally have an opinion on that.
Oh, go ahead.
I knew it. There we go.
Shocking.
Okay.
Okay.
Will's final thought.
Yeah, here's my final thought. The secret on the Oreo. You dip half of it in for a 5 Mississippi count, and then you let it drop.
Oh, yeah.
And then it slowly sinks, and then right before it gets submerged, you grab it. It's the ultimate. It's the ultimate Oreo experience.
That's a lot of work, man. That just
it just slows me down from eating a whole sleeve.
Yeah, it's got to be just soft enough, but not too soft, and it can't be too hard either. It's got, and I think that's a perfect time.
Yeah.
It must be that little mush, just that little mush.
Yeah.
You also have to make sure you don't grab it. Right? I mean, you can't grab it and just pulverize it either. You have to make sure that timing works.
Yeah, there's a delicate touch to it. But, I mean, everybody on this.
Some nuance. Some Oreo nuance.
Yeah.
That is. That's a pro move right there, dude.
Wayne, you were going to say something? Is it about Oreos? Because why the hell not?
No, it's Krispy Kreme. Somebody told me that if you get a Krispy Kreme glazed donut, put it in the microwave for exactly 8 seconds.
This is true.
Is that? Yeah, it's what I was told. But I don't eat them. Is that true?
Yeah.
Would that depend on the wattage?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our ombudsman, Rocco Constantino.
Yes.
Who likes to gleefully tell us what we screwed up and the highlights and the lowlights brought to you by Rocco Constantino.
All right, here we go. I got a notepad full of stuff here. So Rocco Baldelli is signed through 2025, so it'll be a couple years before he's out on the market. Number one baseball movie on Rotten Tomatoes is Bull Durham, 97%. So going on that. Bryce Harper was 18 years old. We mentioned at Sports Illustrated cover. That was kind of when he first came into our consciousness there in 2009. So that's 14 years ago.
Wow.
Lance Lynn did allow 44 homers this year. Most home runs allowed in the season. Our friend Bert Blyleven, 50 in 1986.
Oh,
50
Our
Bert.
friend.
Hanging breaking balls.
Yeah. And the National League record is Jose Lima, 48 in 2000.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was there.
Lima time.
Lima time.
50 homers, 147 farts.
Oh,
Can't make it up.
Jose Abreu and Bregman hit homers off of sweepers from Sonny Gray. He had a streak of 675 straight sweepers without allowing a home run back to 2002, for whatever that's worth.
He was
2002.
He was due. Yeah.
2002?
Yeah.
2002.
Yep. They were apparently went back and checked out the rotation on the pitches, and if they were 6 inches outside, they were sweepers retroactively.
Okay,
Holy
that
shit.
seems like a little too much work for anybody to do, but okay, continue, please.
All right, a couple more. Good comparison, Yordan Alvarez and David Ortiz in the postseason. Alvarez has 50 at-bats in the postseason, 10 homers. Ortiz's first 50 at-bats, he had 11 homers. So right at that same pace. Good call on that
nice.
one.
Was that Glennon?
Mm-mm.
That was
I think it was Wayne, right?
It was
Yeah,
Wayne.
Bueno.
Wayne, yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Good call on the Mendoza line in WAR with Pulsifer. That thing was shared. Our buddy Nat Gaetti, friend of BallNine, tweeted that one or retweeted that out. But Mario Mendoza batted .231 with 53 hits, and he had more WAR than Kyle Schwarber, who had 47 homers. So
Schwarber, RBIs. Yeah,
right, 100, right, 47 homers versus 53 hits. The guy with the 53 hits. Yes.
That stat needs to get flushed.
Tell me that makes sense.
Stat.
Explain to me how that makes sense.
Flush it.
Right. Will Oman's homer gave up to Raul Ibanez May 13th, 2009. But to his credit, it was the ninth inning. They were up 9-1. I'm sure coming in, just throwing fastballs, trying to
exactly what it was, right?
Get him out, throw strikes, and tank there. Galarraga has 2 career homers off Pulse. Joe Madden did say, according to Bob Nightingale, take it for what it's worth, Joe Madden 2 days ago supposedly said he hopes to get an interview with the Mets. So that was from Bob Nightingale on the 9th. And also sharing birthdays with Bill Pulsifer, Hall of Famers Joe Sewell and Rube Marquardt, and Joe Pepitone as well.
Oh, boy.
Hey,
Joe Pepitone.
all right.
That's some neat royalty right there.
Listen, gentlemen, I want to say thank you for a lovely episode 5, the playoff spectacular of Southpaw. I want to say thank you, Rocco, Wayne, Glendon, Will, and a very happy birthday, a little belated, to Bill Pulsifer.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you.